Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. My name is Heshra, and that name means moved by Yah. Today, I'm going to talk about competing and comparing yourself to other women. It's part 2, and I'm going to continue to talk about the effects that they can have in our lives when we get into competing and comparing ourselves to other women. And so in the last video, I talked about how it can cause feelings of jealousy that can lead to causing discord, that can lead to causing, arguments and problems between women when we are competing and comparing ourselves with each other. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a little bit about how it can cause your growth in Yah to be stunted. When I look down, I'm just looking down at my notes. But that type of thinking can cause the changes that you're trying to make in your mind to stop when you head in that direction. And sometimes it's easy to get to fall into the mode of competition with other women, and sometimes that can happen without us not even realizing at first that that's what we're participating in. Without us just get caught up in feelings and emotions. But the issue with that is why it causes our spiritual growth to be hindered is because we're not applying righteous thinking because it's right. So it's all about trying to make ourselves look a certain way at the time, or at least show that we're better than this other sister. We're not applying righteous behavior because it's right, but so we can be viewed as better, and so that's a problem. We know that when people are running a race, their goal is to be faster than the other person in that race. And we know at the end of a race, there's a finish line there. Okay. And whoever crosses the finish line first wins. Well, once all the runners cross the finish line, then the race does what? The race is over. It stops. But can you imagine when you're competing with someone when it comes to looks, skills, character qualities? Okay. What happens when that person you competing with is not around? Our righteous race is not supposed to stop. The only way our righteous race stops is supposed to be if we pass away. But other than that, long as we living and breathing, we're supposed to be developing righteous habits, a righteous character, a righteous spirit. That's not supposed to stop. Whatever obligations and duties that we're supposed to do are obligated to do, that's not supposed to stop and start according to who's around. But when you're competing with another woman, sometimes that can be what happens. We'll do certain things and be consistent in doing what's right or doing certain things right when this person is around because we want to look a certain way. But then what happens when they're not around? What happens when they move away? Or what happens when they're not in your presence? Do you go backward into doing what you know you shouldn't do? Or do you not move forward in what you know you should do? So that's another reason that it's not good to, that's how another reason that our spiritual growth can be hindered, because you're not applying things because it's needed. You're not doing things because it's needed or because you should. You're only doing it. You develop a mindset to only do it when you want to be seen a certain way. In this state of mind, you don't put in the work or develop thinking that will help you make permanent changes to improve yourself. And that's what it's all about. Maintaining the things about ourselves and the skills we have, maintaining that, and then the changes that we have to make, the righteous changes, maintaining those and doing those things, regardless of whether somebody's watching or whether somebody's not watching. That's very important, because another thing we have to remember, the Creator and the Malachim, they're always watching. When I say Malachim, I mean angels, um, which is Yah's helpers or assistants. They always are aware. I know one thing that my husband tells people is that sometimes people start to use a lot of curse words, and then they'll see him walk up and they'll stop because they know that he lived different, or he trying to live a righteous life, even if they don't know quite what that is sometimes. But they'll stop. And he'll often tell them, why stop when I'm around? God is around you all the time. So you shouldn't do it at all, whether I'm around or not. You know. And so that's just something that he's just encouraging them to, if you feel funny when I walk up and you want to stop doing it, then Yah is aware all the time. So just don't do it, whether I'm around or not. And see, that's how we should be in our walk with the Creator. We should be doing what's right because it's right, even if we're by ourselves. And in that way, we're developing righteous ways that doesn't just have a positive effect on other people, but also has a positive effect on our minds and our thinking. At the end of the day, it's going to benefit you the most when you can be focused on growth in a righteous way and not focused on competing or comparing ourselves. When you in this state of mind of competition, then you might not even notice what Yahweh is showing you that you need to work on. I started on this road when I was 23 years old, and I thank Yah for his mercy, because if he had of showed me so many things that was wrong with me at one time and in my thinking, it would have been probably really hard. But one thing I noticed over time, and change is hard in itself, whether you're working on 10 things or 2 things that you need to change, But I thank y'all, because he always seems to work with me over the years on things 1 and 2 and 3 at a time like that. And I find that that's oftentimes enough. And by the time I finish getting that straight, he showed me something else I need to do better, or some other way I need to improve. And so, but if you are not paying attention or in a mindset to accept that, and to be open in your mind to seeing that, because Yah sends you those messages in different ways. He'll send it to you through people, maybe even through a book, or maybe in Sabbath class. But if your mind is focused in the wrong way, and so much focused on being in competition with someone else, and how can I do this better than her, or how can I look better than her, then you might not even see what Yah is trying to work with you on. And so that hinders your growth, because Yah stops with us at that point. At a certain point, you can't move forward, because now he has to deal with your mindset that you focused on the wrong thing altogether, to where he can't help you improve, because your mind is stunted. If for example, if somebody's trying to show me how to fix a light, but my mind is focused on, what I'm going to wear tonight, and I can't focus enough to even hear what they're saying, that maybe even the light need to be fixed, then they can't help me. because my mind is completely on what am I going to wear tonight? What am I going to do tonight? And so I can't focus on the information they're giving me or anything. So once they leave, then I'm at a loss. And by the time it comes to my mind, oh, I was supposed to be fixing this light. And so was helping me. But I wasn't able to get all that. And so that's how it can be when our mind is focused on the wrong things in the Creator. And we focus on competing with other women, or competing even with the men sometimes, that we don't see what Yah's trying to show us about ourselves and how we need to improve in areas that we really need to improve in. And in that way, our spiritual growth kind of stops at that point. By focusing on developing a righteous mind and putting that work in on ourselves, this helps us to do what's right, regardless of how we feel or whether things are going good or bad. And so that's something to remember too, because that's the whole one of the main points in developing righteous thinking. Things are not going to always go well, and you're going to get, sometimes you're going to feel things and think things that's not right, and you're going to know that it's not right. But if you put your spiritual work in on yourself, then you're going to be able to overcome that. And the more you practice it, you'll be able to overcome it quicker. You'll regroup a lot quicker. So that's the importance of not getting sidetracked. When you get into the point of where you're in competition or comparing yourself to other women, then you're not doing, it's not focusing your mind in the right way to put in the work that you really need to put in to be able to perform properly all the time. Okay, and that takes work and practice to be able to more and more be who you need to be, and do how you need to do, and do what you need to do consistently. That takes really dealing with your mind and your thoughts. But once we get sidetracked, like I said before, in competition with someone else, a lot of times that stops. Then you become a hindrance to yourself because you hadn't put that work in to get your mind to where it needs to be to best help even you, because it all starts with ourselves. I hear people over the years, and they want to help other people. They want to be an inspiration to other people. They want to be leaders over other people, because sisters, even though we're not called to be priests, sisters want to be influential over other sisters and different things like that. But anything like that starts with us first working on ourselves. And it takes time to, it's a journey to perfection. Okay, it's a journey that we are on probably till we pass away. But all of that, love starts at home. It starts with ourselves, for us beginning that process. And when we are in competition with each other, that just does not happen. We hinder our growth. And then we find that we're unable mentally to meet challenges. And when you live, you're going to have challenges. When you live for Yah and you're on that road, you're going to have challenges. Things are going to happen. And that's just how that is. And also, another thing about that is Yah tests us too. Now, why am I saying this? Because this, in order to endure in your walk with Yah and to last, one of the most important things in that is this: your thinking. And when we not focused, and our mind get unfocused on things that's irrelevant and unproductive, then we're not really getting our thinking straight. And so challenges will come and you find we can't meet those challenges. We don't have the spiritual strength to meet those challenges, or we lose track of what to even do. Maybe we were so unfocused that we weren't even paying attention to who we might could even talk to get advice. Or maybe the answer was there, but we didn't hear it because we were too focused on, in a mindset of comparing ourselves or competing with this other sister. So you miss answers. It's like being in a place that's supposed to help you get ready for a test, but the whole time you there, your mind is focused on what's going on outside of the classroom. Okay, so then it's time for the test and you can't pass it because when the answers were being given to you to help you prepare for that test in the future, you weren't even paying attention because your mind was somewhere else. And that's my goal with this whole channel, is that I want to see more and more of you endure. That's what this is about. I want to see you make it, not just come into Yah and you in it 3 years, 4 years, but you able to walk with Yah until your until your life ends. That's what I want to see. And I've seen so many sisters fail in this way of life, leave this way of life, because they couldn't meet challenges a lot of times. They couldn't overcome certain thoughts. Well, we are able to do this, able to do that when we get our minds straight. We develop our thinking. But when we get sidetracked, then we're not able to do that. And so that's our goal here. It's easy to do what's right when we're in good spirits and everything is going well. It's harder when it is not. And so you don't want to waste your time competing and comparing yourself to another woman when you need to be doing what you need to do to help yourself. And that's not being selfish. When you help yourself, you better able to serve and help others from your family on out. When we're not able to endure ourselves, it's harder for us to help others in certain types of ways. So if you one of those ones who you really want to help other people, you want to be influential in other sisters' lives and in your communities, put the work in with yourself, and you're gonna better be able to do that. I guarantee it. You'll be better able to do that. Next, in the spirit of competing and comparing, we are unwilling to teach others, because who wants to help the competition? If I see you as competition, I'm not going to want to help you, because in a competition, there's a winner and there's a loser. Okay? Well, once I get in that mindset, if you're my competition, you're not my sister, you're not another Hebrew Israelite woman, and we connected in that way, then I'm not going to want to help you in that state of mind, in that competitive state of mind. Okay? And I'm not saying at all, I just want to put this out there, I'm not saying at all we should be competing and comparing ourselves to other nationalities either. We shouldn't be doing that with Edomites or the so-called white woman or Mexican woman or anybody, But charity and love starts at home, so I'm starting with Hebrew Israelite women. But we are unwilling to teach each other because, as I said before, who wants to teach the competition? She just gonna think she better than me if I teach her what I know. If she knows what I know, and that's just ridiculous. That's not a good way to think. I have experienced this myself. I have had sisters not want to teach me something. They didn't even really just know me, but the mindset was a competitive type. I want to show I'm better, that I'm better at this or I'm better at that, and you can't do this, so I'm not going to help you learn how to do it, because you'll think you're as good as me, or you'll get ahead of me, you'll know as much as I know, I've dealt with that kind of, thing before. And it's just not good. And if you feel that way, if you feel yourself feeling that way, well, I don't want to teach her, you know, she gonna know what I know or whatever. Then you just have to catch yourself and remember that this woman hadn't done anything to you. If she has done something to you, it's a way that Yah tells us to deal with that in a godly way. But just not wanting to teach somebody something strictly based, another sister something just strictly based off of nothing, some feeling you have of jealousy or competitiveness, that's something you have to catch yourself on. Recognize that that it's an unrighteous way to think, and then move forward with the correct actions. And hopefully in the future, you can also move forward in your mind to match the action, the correct action with the correct thinking. Because ultimately that's our goal, to match righteous action with righteous thinking. Because a lot of times what you find is we'll perform with the right action, but the right mindset won't be behind it. It'll be for the wrong reason. And that goes kind of beyond competing sometimes. Sometimes we just don't want to do something because we just don't want to do it. Sometimes we don't want to do something that's right just because we don't want to do it. But we'll do it anyway. But the Creator wants us to have a willing and obedient spirit. He wants our thinking to match with what we're doing. If you don't have that, that's not uncommon. I used to be like that a lot. And then the Creator started to show me, okay, you need to develop a willing spirit. Okay. And that's something I had to think about. He don't want me to do something just because it's right. He want me to develop a mindset to do what's right, but also develop the thinking to match it. That I want to do it, that I understand is right, and that's how I need to do it. And so we don't want to have the spirit, in the spirit of competitiveness. A lot of times we don't want to teach other people what we know. In that mindset, in that thought, we are making an unconscious decision to take our gifts and talents to the grave with us. And that's something we have to have a vision for the future. We have a vision for now, but you also have to have a vision for the future too. Long after we gone off this earth, our people will be here. And they have to live. If you were a good cook, a healthy cook, then the ones you leave behind, they still have to eat. They still need the benefit of knowing how to eat healthy. Whatever your skill was, the people that's left behind, they need that. They survive after you. That's the circle of life. So we should want them to be prepared and to help in that. Instead of helping build others around us, which has a domino effect. So when we teach others, that's a domino effect. It helps the individual, it helps families, and it helps our nation as a whole. It's a circle, and we want that circle to be unbroken, and we want it to be strong. So part of our life should be teaching others. That doesn't mean on a large scale. That doesn't mean that you have to teach a class. But if something that you know and a skill you have will be helpful to another sister, you may teach somebody your talent one-on-one. Be willing to give of yourself that. Be willing to serve others in that way. And like I say, it might not be on a large scale. It may be on one-on-one, you being willing to teach two people something that you know. then you want to have a spirit to do that. You don't want to be caught up in being jealous of them and being in competition with them or comparing yourself to them. And so now this is not your sister or a woman in your nation, that you can't, akin to, but it's just your enemy. Basically, that's what we turn people into when we turn them into competition. It's almost like they're the enemy. And then that's a whole nother cycle of thinking, because now you're working against instead of working for. And this is something to remember when it comes to being unwilling to teach others. It's important to understand that Yah will provide for the needs of his people. And see, I'm telling you from experience that Yah provides. I have had people not want to teach me something that I needed to know. And sometimes it took years later for me to get it. But the Creator would always send somebody that where this person didn't want to offer their help so I could move forward and quicker, that somebody will come by that was willing to help me. Always. So whichever side you sit on when it comes to that, if you one of the ones who have a hard time getting sisters to help you, to teach you something or something, and you feel like your growth is stunted, um, because of that purpose, if you need a person, you know, whether they live for y'all or not, if you, whatever it is that you need to know, Yah is able to provide you with that help and information. If you find yourself on the other side, you one of the type of people who don't want to teach other sisters what you know, then you need to understand that Yah will provide for the nation. He will do that. But where does that leave your name in the mind of the Creator? And that's something to think about. When you're uncooperative for unrighteous reasons. Now, sometimes the reason why I put it like that, because sometimes you have to be uncooperative, but that only would be for a righteous reason. Okay. Not just because you don't want somebody to cook better than you or do this better than you. If they know as much as you know, then they may get even better. That's not a reason not to teach another sister something that she needs to know, or share information, with her that would be helpful to her. Okay. And when we hinder others in that way, we also hinder ourselves. Except this person may overcome eventually the person we're competing with. Because if they are trying to have the right thinking, or if maybe they got off the road from it and get back on it, then in the end, their way will be better than the one that wasn't doing that. And so we don't want to we want to remove the spirit of competitiveness against each other and comparing ourselves to each other. There will always be somebody out there innovating something that you know how to do, doing it better. I had a daughter that I would teach how to cook different things. And it never failed that whatever I showed her to do, she would always do it better than I did. Well, it was just noticeable. And I would just ask her, like, what did you do? What did you do to that? Because it'd be like, wow, that's so much better. I'm like, can you show me what you did extra? It just never failed. And I'm just saying that in cooking per se. But just use that for example. And so because you've been doing something a certain way, sometimes people will learn whatever you know, and we'll take it to like to another level or do it in different ways. But you have to see that as being good, because it is good when it's better in a good way, you know. Or even if they learn is to do whatever it is as good as you. That's good. Because another thing is, you know, we might be dependent on for something, but you know, life happens, we get busy, we get sick, and then, or whatever it is, and then somebody else is able to be there and perform the task for the nation or for the family or for the group that you would normally do. And that's good. That's a good thing for all of us. The next thing is, when we move on and transition from out of this life, we have to remember that the people we leave behind, that we want them to be equipped and prepared in whatever that's good and righteous and right. And we want to have been a part of that. That our talents don't just go with us into the transition, but that we left behind the knowledge so that generation and those people can move forward. And that they don't have to wait for y'all to send somebody else to help them when we were able to teach and, you know, teach whatever skills we had, or whatever, you know, whatever understanding the Creator gave us, that we were able to do that and impart that information on, whether it was skills on how to be a good mother, how to be a good wife, how to be a good sister, whatever it is, how to be a good cook, how to be good in business, you know, the best way to do taxes, whatever it is that you know, the Creator blessed you to be skilled at, and know that we can leave this with others, and that their life can move forward consistently and well long after we will transitioned on out of this life. So we have to have a vision for today, and also a vision for the future. So this was part 2 of the effects of competing and comparing. We talked about 1, how it stunts our spiritual growth, and 2, how it can cause us to be unwilling to teach others. So next week, if y'all's we'll finish it up with part 3. I want to thank you for your time. If you would like to contact me, you can contact me at yazcornerstone@gmail.com. yazcornerstone@gmail.com. You're also welcome to leave a comment at the bottom of this video. You're also welcome to follow me and leave comments on Instagram. And the Instagram account is Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. Supporting Yah's Cornerstone. On Facebook, it is Supporting Yah's Cornerstone also. There's a Facebook page there. You're welcome to comment there as well, or comment here. If it's anything I can talk about that will be helpful to you, please let me know. That's what I'm trying to do now, is make myself available, hoping that through me sharing, your walk with Yah will go smoother and easier than mine did. If it's something, you know, so just you're welcome to ask me your questions, or like I said before, if it's anything that'll be helpful to you that I can talk about, then just let me know that too. Thank you for your time. Shalom, shalom.